Your last and final review over data and statistics. The essential understanding in this unit is that you can read all sorts of information presented in different ways, like bar graphs, frequency tables, stem and leaf diagrams, lists, and be able to read that data, and especially the measures of central tendency, including mean, median, mode, and range. So some example questions would look like this. Using this table, you can see that different teammates or players scored different amounts of goals during their first 5 games of a season. So our first question is comparing Claire's median and Peter's median. So I'm going to look at Claire's goals over the first 5 games, and I'm going to look at Peter's goals scored in the first 5 games, and I'm going to compare their medians. When you find a median, you want to list them in order from least to greatest. So Peter's goals in order would be 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. And Claire's goals listed in order would be 0, 1, 2, 2, 2. To find a median means in the middle. So you find the number in the middle. So Peter's is 1 and Claire's is 2. The question is how much greater is Claire's median than Peter's? And again, this was 1 and this one 2. This one is 2. So it is 1 greater than Peter's. Next question. What is the range of the total frequency of goals scored for each player? Here is my total frequency, and range is from your lowest to your highest. My lowest value is 3, and my highest value is 7. And to find your range, you subtract your high and your low, and that gives you a range of 4. The third question, reading this table, is find the mode for goals scored in game 4. So I'm looking here only at game 4, and I'm looking at the mode. The mode is the number that appears most often. And if you look, you see that 1 appears 3 times, which is more than any others. So the mode for game 4 would be 1. And finally, how much the median increases from game 1 to game 3. So that means I need to find and compare those two medians. So now I'm looking at game 1 and I'm looking at game 3. And if I find the median of those, I want to put those in order. So game 1 in order goes 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 3. And if I put game 3 in order, it goes 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3. So to find the median, it's the two numbers, or it's the number in the middle. If you look here, we have an even number, so I have 2. So I would have to take 1 plus 1, which is 2, and divide it by 2, which is 1. So my median for game 1 is 1, and my median for game 3, if I work myself into the middle, the median for game 3 is also 1. So how much did the median increase from game 1 to 3? Well, it increased 0. A couple more questions comparing measures of central tendency. The first question is which is higher, the mean or median age? So I am looking at my age category, and I will want to solve those. If I find the median, I would want to put those in order from least to greatest. And that would go 22, 28, 35, 41, and 48. And my number in the middle is 35. So my median is 35. To find my average, or my mean, I add all of those up. 22 plus 28 plus 35 plus 41 plus 48. I have 10, 15, 16, 24, 2, 4, 6, 9, 13, 17, and then I divide by my number of data points, which is 5. My average, 5 goes into 17 3 times. With 2 left over, 5 goes into 24 4 times. With 4 left over, I drop my 0. 5 goes into 48. So my average is 34.8, and it wants to know which is higher, my mean or my median. Well, 35 is greater than 34.8, so the median is my greater number. Number 2, which is not a good summary of this salary data, well, you would want to go through and use process of elimination to cross these off. I'm going to come back to the mean because that one takes the most amount of work, but I'm going to look at here, there is no mode. And I look, and there is no mode, so that would not be my answer to this because I'm looking for one that is not a good summary. The next one is range. Range, I want to find my lowest, which is 250, and my highest, which is 359, and I would subtract those. 359 minus 250 is 109. Well, that's a true statement, and again, I'm looking for the one that is not true, so that's not a good answer. And then median, I would put those in order from least to greatest. So if I start with my smallest, that is 250. Next would be 265, followed by 280, followed by 325, and then finally 359. Well, if I work myself into the middle, my median is 280. So I know that this also is not what I'm looking for. So the mean is $285.90, would not be accurate. Stem and leaf plots are a great way to record lists of numbers when you have lots of numbers. It's a clean, easy way to organize them. And it's pretty simple to find median and mode. Median, remember, means the number in the middle. You could start by crossing off one number at a time from the top and bottom, and then work yourself into the middle. However, I'm going to erase this because you're going to be doing that for a little while. So whatever you do, just make sure that you cross off the same number from the bottom as you do the top. So if you cross off 2 here, make sure you cross off 2 here. Cross off 3, cross off your top 3. If you want to cross off your next 3, make sure you cross off your next 3. You're left with those 2 numbers in the middle. Since there are 2 numbers, those represent 73 and 75. So it's always the number in the middle of those. Well, you might just know that the number in the middle of 73 and 75 is 74. Or you can always add those numbers up and then divide by 2. Now, for your mode, remember the mode is the number that appears most often. And if you take a look at these numbers, you'll see there is no number that appears more than once. So your mode is simply no mode. Remember that being able to accurately read statistics will help you from being duped, because very smart people can take statistics and skew them in a way to get you to believe something that may or may not be the case. For example, take a look at these 2 graphs. Both of them are showing the exact same information, those massive increases in home price from the year 1998 to 1999. So if you look at this graph right here, it looks like in 1999, the home price was 3 times as high in 1999 as it was in 1998. Now, if you were selling your home, you would assume that you should get your house on the market and sell it because you're going to make lots and lots of money. But if you look, this does not start at 0. So that interval represents $80,000 when this interval only represents $1,000. So some keys to look for in misleading graphs would be an axis that does not start at 0 or uneven intervals. So take a look at this other graph on the right, which shows exactly the same information. However, it starts at 0 and all of those intervals are by $10,000. So here was your home price in 1998 and here was the home price in 1999. Both of them show the same thing. This is $80,000 right here. And this one is $82,000, which is exactly the same on the left. So what is misleading about these? Your axis does not start at 0. When you have graphs that do not start at 0, it creates uneven intervals, which stretches your information and makes it look more drastic than it really is. So what invalid conclusion could be made if you look at that first graph? Well, it looks like home prices tripled or were 3 times as high in 1999 as the year previous in 1998, which simply was not true. They only increased by $2,000. That's a pretty big misconception.